Hey everybody, just wanted to talk today about two things that I think really could have helped out Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Interesting movie. I remember seeing previews for it, thinking, what's this movie about? Kind of had my attention. There were some reviews saying it could be like an Avatar with all of its visuals and great things like that, so it had my interest. But after having seen it, this is just a little bit of what I thought. Two things that really could have made a big difference for it. The first one actually has nothing to do with the movie. It's just with the release date. This movie released at the end of July. Now July is prime time movie, summer blockbuster time, and so Valerian had a lot of competition. The day that it opened, it was going up against Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk and against Girl Trip. You had Spider-Man just a couple weeks earlier that was still taking up a lot of the box office, so it had a ton of competition, and it led to a horrible opening weekend of only $17 million. The movie today sits at a domestic total of only $40 million. For those of you unfamiliar with box office numbers, $40 million sounds like a lot of money, but this movie had a really high budget also. It was a $177 million budget, not including what they would have paid for advertising, which sometimes can be almost equal to the production budget. So $40 million, not really getting it done. Overseas, it's made at around $220 million with overseas plus domestic, so worldwide total. And from what I could find, I don't think it's opened in Japan yet, so maybe they're still holding out hope to to help that way with getting some good numbers out of Japan, which it made $62 million in China. So, I mean, that's pretty good. We'll see what happens. But one thing they could have changed that I think really would have helped was if they had postponed opening or delayed or whatever originally scheduled to have this movie released over Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend this year was really bad. I think the lowest in like 12 years. Super low Labor Day weekend, not a lot for people to go see. And Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, I think, would have been a good fit for the Labor Day weekend. How well could it have done? I mean, we'll never know, obviously, but I mean, I could see it of pulling in a, 25, a little bit higher than 17, maybe even up to a $35 million opening. Now, there were some other things going on Labor Day weekend that couldn't have been changed, but I think that could have made a big difference for this movie just coming out at the right time. Plus, not only the poor performance of Labor Day weekend this year, the next weekend we saw the opening of Stephen King's It, which has been blowing up the box office, and Valerian would have been a good counter programming to that, to where it would have given a good option for those who didn't really want to get scared to death by the freaky clown. So that's something I think could have helped Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. Now, talking about the movie itself, where do I think it really could have made a big difference? First thing I would have to say is in the casting. Now, I hesitate to say that, and I feel bad saying that, because I think Carla Delevingne is a great actress, and I think Dane DeHaan is a great actor. I just don't know if they were the right fit for these roles. They really did have to carry the movie and carry the action and carry what this movie was meant to be. And I mean, it wasn't like I was looking and thinking, whoa, what's the Green Goblin doing? I mean, that's the guy that killed Gwen Stacy. I wasn't really thinking that the whole movie, or worried that the Enchantress was going to take over. It wasn't anything like that. I just think those roles kind of fit those characters a little bit better than what they needed to be in this movie to be the protagonist and to carry the feel of the movie. So I think that was something that could have made a big difference in this movie anyways. But what do I think of it overall? The movie was okay. They really did do a good job developing the story. And I liked how it started out. You're seeing this space station, and you're seeing people meet other people from other countries. And then all of a sudden they're meeting people from other planets. And it's just this cool opening montage, really, that was a good segue to set us in this new context of this story. And then you get the leads. They were, like secret agents who were working, trying to figure out they were on a mission, trying to figure out what had happened and what's going on. And, they get caught up in a lot of things. And it's cool and it's interesting. And, the story, I felt like it had me. There was one really weird part of the story with the Rihanna scene. It was like awkward and super long, and it just totally took away from the flow of the movie. But besides that, I thought the development of the story was good, exciting, intriguing, and pretty cool that way. What it missed out though on was fun. It really was just lacking fun in this movie, and it wasn't for a lack of trying. I mean, maybe the movie's hilarious in French. Je ne sais pas, peut-être. But there were just times when I'm in the theater and you could tell, like, oh hey, that line was supposed to be funny, and no one was laughing. And that happened multiple times throughout the movie. I never thought the day would come when you would crave Brendan Fraser humor. But that's almost what it needed. But yeah, so when I first saw a preview for this movie, I thought, kind of looks like a wannabe Star Wars. And in all truthfulness, it did kind of reach the cheesiness and the poor dialogue that we saw in Star Wars Episode 1. And it also definitely had the lack of romantic chemistry with the two leads, like we saw in Star Wars Episode 2. So not really things to be proud of in following the Star Wars path. But I don't know. If you were interested at all, it's probably worth checking it out. The story, like I said, was intriguing and good, and maybe you'll find more fun enjoying it than I did. But those are my thoughts on things that could have really helped out. So Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. That's SawItTwice Movie Reviews.